It instantly looks so wet. See how all the chalkiness just kind of fades away? Canadians call it a decal. They're all wrong, but that's what they call it. This time on TYGR's Garage, stink bug gets a coat of wipe on clear. But first it gets a wash. I've never washed this truck since the first weekend we brought it home. The purpose of this is not to make it clean and shiny necessarily right now. It's just to give us a good surface so our clear coat adheres to it and get all the dust and garage dirt off. Easy truck to wash. There's not a lot to it. And you don't have to worry about scratching it. I grabbed my worst wash mitt because I'm sure this is gonna ruin it. But I want to get all the big chunks off first. We did get bird pooped right here. All right, so the truck is still drying, but I'm gonna take this opportunity to tell you what we're gonna use. I have Derek's TYGR Garage Wipe On Clear Gloss Finish. Because I like the idea of the truck looking so ratty, but being shiny, if that makes sense. I think it works well. That's why chrome wheels work so well in this thing. The juxtaposition of new and old, I like that look, so that's what we're going for. That can I just had in my hand is half empty because I've done this once before. Maybe you remember, maybe you don't if you're new here. It was like the first or second stink bug video ever. Me and Ricky put a coat on, and that coat was mostly like just get something on there to stop it returning to earth. So that's on there, and it's been on there for about a year. We're gonna use the rest of what we have. We should have enough to do everything. I don't know if we'll have enough to do everything twice. This will be the second coat. Can we get a third? Maybe in some spots, maybe not, I don't know. In a couple hours, the truck is completely dry. I'm actually gonna push it in a little bit just so the cab is about where I'm standing, because this stuff really isn't meant to be applied in direct sunlight. It is a little bit overcast today, it'd probably be fine. I'm gonna go ahead and mask off like the headlight surrounds, emblem, front windshield, like rubber. Anywhere that the stuff could drip down onto it, I'd rather not do that. Maybe the door handles, stuff like that. Now remember, like I said, we're not spraying, so we're just trying to keep drips off the bright work is all. Truthfully, this stuff should never even really go on heavy enough to drip, but you never know, we might get a little carried away. Shaking up our product here. Once I mix this with the catalyst, we got 2 hours, 2-hour pot life. Should be okay, but you don't want to like mix this and then go have lunch and then come back. I got everything scuffed, cleaned, masked. I think we're ready. This stuff, it's important, like you wipe kind of one direction and you don't want to re-wipe where you just wiped, because it tacks up like pretty quick and it'll start to pull, it'll grab your applicator. Like I said before, I have used this before. I used half of it, so I have half left. Half of the catalyst, half of the product. They're both gonna go in here. We'll mix it up and then our 2-hour timer starts. Technically the timer has started. Gonna mix it up a bit. I'm gonna let it sit for just a couple minutes, let some of those bubbles pop, get my gloves on, and then we are getting started. So far, so good. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it instantly looks so wet. I don't know if you guys can tell on camera, but it's already looking way better. Way, way better. Even the spots that are mostly just rust look better. We're gonna do this fender and door now. Trying not to re-wipe, but I got some runs going on. The nice part about this stuff is I don't know how to phrase this, anything you use it on isn't gonna have that nice of a finish. Because if it did, you'd spray it. So like imperfection is okay. Just nature of wipe on clear coat. Like if you really cared about this paint, this finish, you'd have somebody spray it or spray it yourself if you had that ability. It works though. I mean, it absolutely works. Like check this door out. See how all the chalkiness just kind of fades away? Now our doors have a fair amount of paint on them still. It's got like rust lines and stuff from the life it's lived, but I don't want that to go away necessarily either. Well, I'm thinking about, I'm gonna show a little bit of love to the grill before I do the top and back. It might be really hard to tell, but there is some paint on this grill. In addition to looking cooler, it should slow down future rusting as well, which is honestly probably the bigger benefit. The top of this cab is just sunburned, we'll say. This is the tetanus portion here, trying to wipe around here and not stab yourself on one of the various sharp edges that exist. So listen, this stuff, honestly, there's spots that are still close to dry already. I got a bunch left. I'm gonna do the big pieces again. Hood, fenders, doors. I want her on thick, and we got extra material, and you can't put it back in the bottle. I started here, and I think we can probably make another pass at most of this stuff. So it hasn't been that long, but I think we're out of, honestly, some of this is like dry already. We're definitely out of drip danger zone. So I'm gonna start peeling tape. The light is changing. Like I said, it's overcast today and this thing is already looking dripping wet. I'm really, really excited to push it out and have an actual look. Push it out with some cool lights on will really get the vibe. So I totally thought this video was done, and then I had an idea. See, I love old school service trucks with like the hand painted scripted business logo on the side. I am not that person. I cannot paint, I cannot even draw, but I can draw on a computer and I have a vinyl cutter, so that got me thinking. I have something drawn up that I like, very old school, just text, kind of scripted. And I've actually printed this already in black, and we're gonna hang it up there and just kind of get the idea how it looks. I won't lie, I've already looked at it and I quite like it. This is the logo that I have drawn up. You can see that it's just kind of the classic swoopy font with like pinstripe aspects, right? This little like heartbeat thing and then these wings is all stuff that you could do by hand if you were talented. I've had this up and down a couple times, so it's a little weathered, but this will give you kind of the idea. So if you're not familiar with how these decals work, which you probably are, but let me just give you a refresher. The only part that will be there in the end is, in this case, the black part, right? This is just the backing of the vinyl. You'll see when we make the new one, you hand peel all this off to leave just what you want. Then you get a clear piece of what's called transfer paper. It goes on the top of this and then you peel the back off. And that's probably the part that you are beginning to be familiar with, because like if you get a sticker from some aftermarket company, if it's a higher quality sticker, it won't be printed. It'll be cut on vinyl like this. And that's the clear part you peel, and then you have like the negative, right? And the sticky stuff is on the back. Stick it wherever, and then you peel that clear piece back off. And what it leaves behind is the sticker, the decal, whatever you want to call it. Canadians call it a decal. They're all wrong, but that's what they call it. It's really hard to visualize what it would look like without the white here, which is the risk, because once you get to the point where the white's not here, you're basically installing it. So you gotta try to squint your eyes and imagine that this white is actually blue. Here's the part that I was talking about earlier. All of this, you'll be able to see through. Like that rust is gonna be here. All of that stuff, you'll still be able to see. And I think it's actually gonna work in our favor and add a whole bunch of texture and just like legitimize the old school feel of it. I don't want it to feel fake, right? I don't want to portray something that isn't true. Like, it's already bad enough in my head that it's not hand painted. I would pay somebody to paint this by hand if I like it, but I don't know if I want to commit to that right now. So I think the vinyl is maybe a good intermediate step. I'm just trying not to have like a stolen valor situation. I think we could all agree that this truck with the bed has done some service in its life. Now, I don't think it was at a hot rod shop, but I don't think that matters either. This was a work truck. It looks like one. It's got all the right parts. It still is. It's just working for a different employer at this point, which is me. Now, let me show you what colors I think we're gonna use. I bought two. I'm not totally decided yet. First one is white, but it's I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but it's a flat white. There's no gloss in this. That would look okay. It would tie into some of this white. That's a maybe for me. Here's what I think I'm leaning towards. because it feels a little bit more vintage and weathered, is this. Now, I hope this doesn't look yellow on camera, but this is like an ivory, or what I've been calling a nicotine white. It fits the image in my head a lot better. It's like already sun checked, already weathered is kind of what we're going for. It does have a bit of gloss on it, but vinyl trick, if you hit this stuff with Scotch-Brite super lightly, it takes all that gloss out of it. So that's an option. We could matte this up pretty good. I kind of feel like this is the move. This is where I'm going to start. Those are the only colors I think make sense. I have 10 feet of this. I have 10 feet of white. This sticker here is only like 18 inches or something. So we got a couple tries if we need them. So this contraption here is my vinyl cutter. Now I own this thing because back when I was driving a bunch of race cars, I got tired of paying people to cut my stickers that I was just giving away. I'd still pay someone to do the car. They actually did it with this same machine, but it was more cost effective for me to own this machine and learn how to do this than pay somebody to cut them just for me to give them away. So I bought one. This machine will handle a 24-inch roll, which is what this is, 24 long. It happens to be 10 feet long. It could do any length that you want. And there's a little drag knife here, and it's basically like a XY CNC machine that cuts out a vector file. Got the material loaded up. This machine has a little test function where it'll cut out like a little star. So I'll show you how that works, and you'll get an idea of the little drag knife thing and just kind of the order of operations here. Okay, so that's it. Now it's cut, but you can't tell. So then you come down here, and if you look close, see that? Little star. And what happens is you got to set your knife up, which this one's already set up, but you don't want it to cut all the way through the backing, just the vinyl. Okay, so also just for giggles, I took that star we just made and I stuck it right here. I believe that to be the correct color, or at least the color we're gonna go with. Our sticker is somewhere in here. Now it's time to do what they call weed, which honestly I usually have my wife do, but I'm gonna do it this time to show you. All you're doing is taking out all the stuff that you don't want, like the weeds, right? It helps to have your picture close by, which I have over my computer, and some good light so you can kind of see. I always like to start like with the outside, but you're taking out everything that you don't want to be on the door or whatever, wherever your sticker's going. You kind of see how this starts to work. TYGR's Garage, speed and service. The little heartbeat thing. Honestly, this stuff is pretty forgiving as long as you go slow. And in our case, imperfection is almost the point. All right, so here is the finished product, all weeded out. So this is the transfer paper. It is clear, frosted-ish. You've seen it before. You maybe didn't know why it was there, but you've seen it. And just laying it down like that and smoothing it out. I think what we're gonna do now before we peel anything, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, is we're gonna tape it up. So my personal rule number one of putting stickers on a car is you can't see both sides at the same time. So don't stress about it too much. We are gonna try to center it on the door. It's gonna look different anyway, because behind it is gonna be different. This side has like some square rust. That side has like a meatball round rust. That's gonna be different enough to where if you're off by an inch, nobody is ever gonna know. My plan is gonna be to kind of use what's here as a guide, and we'll just match it on the driver's side. So I think I might put the top of our new door banner kind of at the top of this rust and just let it ride like that. That way the speed and service I think is gonna come down into the blue. So you'll be able to see that, but the rest of this is gonna have that backdrop of really, really rough, rustic patina. Now to apply this, we'll do like a tape hinge here. We'll fold it up. You've done this a million times, I'm sure. I keep saying that's like permanent. It's not. This is outdoor rated stuff. It's gonna be pretty sticky, but a heat gun take it off. A heat gun a little time. It might take some paint off of a door like this, but well, who's gonna notice that? How's it look? No turning back. Here we go. So you can see I'm trying to work center out gently. I think I like that. It's muted right now because this is like a matte transfer paper, but let me put the scrape on some of this and then we'll peel this off and we'll get our actual look. This part might be tricky. If the transfer paper doesn't release, it's gonna try to pull, but I think we'll be okay. Try to go like this and we'll just watch everything like that kind of hold it down if we have to. First look, a little bit busier than I thought because of the back of the door, but I don't hate it. A little bit hard to read in this dark, artificially lit garage. I think it's gonna pop a little harder in the sun, and we don't want it to pop too hard, right? We're trying to avoid brand new sticker, old door. We want it to kind of look like, oh, that's been there for a while. So what I'm gonna do now is the same exact thing on the other side. I'm not gonna show you the process again. Be back with you when I have a sticker that's ready to apply to the other side. And what we're gonna do is we'll just measure from the highest point, which is the midpoint of this G right here, down from the belt line, so we get our height the same, and then we're gonna totally eyeball side to side and slap one on the other side. Decal number 2 made and set up. So we're 6 7/8 down from this body line, and we're 16.5 from the back of the door to the center of this G. Now this one has the meatball, which is gonna come to about here. So this G, this RA, part of this R, part of that G, gonna be tough because they're right in that rust and there's no paint. There is clear coat on it. I'm hoping that's enough for it to stick to. We may fight the center a bit, but it's gotta match. So here we go. Okay, well now I think we're actually done with this video. You guys will have to comment, let me know what you think. Did I overdo it? Is it a little bit fake? Is it cool? You know, did we hit the target? The vibe was old school service truck, hand painted lettering. Obviously this is not hand painted, but it is handmade. You watched me do it. Let me know what you think. Love it, hate it. It's gonna stay for a little bit. I personally like it. It worked out the way that I had it in my head. If I like it a lot, I may try to find somebody to actually do like it for real. But for now, this is plenty good enough for us, and we'll see you next time on TYGR's Garage.